Today on Here for the Right Reasons, we break down everything you need to know about Michelle Young's season of The Bachelorette and tell you our early frontrunners. I know that Joe Coleman, so he is one of the guys there. He was crowned Mr. Minnesota basketball back in 2011, and there's some rumors that she knew him because of their basketball ties, and it's kind of alludes to that in the trailer too, that she knew one of the guys from her past. But it seems like on paper that could be a good match. Plus, Peter Weber reveals the one thing he wishes he knew before he started his Bachelor journey.
Maybe don't give in to any outside pressure of like showing interest that's really not there, and just focusing on really what you think there is a potential with.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly senior editor Sarah Heron. Sarah, 1 week away from the Bachelorette premiere, 1 week out from the Bachelor in Paradise finale.
It feels like we just closed the beach because we did. And it also feels like we just said goodbye to Katie. Oh, because we did.
Usually during this time, we have that nice lull from now until January, but we're getting another season of The Bachelorette. And I have to admit, Michelle looks fantastic. I think that's going to be a great season based on the promos so far. So we wanted to give you guys a little bit of an everything we know about Michelle's season. Now, before we get to all of that, I caught up with Peter Weber, who told us the one thing he wishes he knew before he started his Bachelor journey. Take a look. What do you wish somebody told you before you got started in this whole journey?
I think it's almost like may sound like mean, but it's just being honest. Not to invest so much energy in relationships, because I did this, not to invest so much energy and time in relationships that really you weren't going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And like I tried, I think, to give, you kind of like feel the pressure of being in that position to give everyone like this fair chance, right? And that's just like the right thing to do and whatnot. But it's it's a grueling 2 months of going through that, and for a lot of reasons. And that's why I kind of like went back to like the Paradise thing. I think I would have been better in that environment of being able to just put my focus and energy on a lot less people, because it just drains you, and you only have so much to give. I think people saw that like through my journey kind of progressing. So I hope that doesn't come off like mean, but just like, be cordial, obviously, and show everyone respect, but don't give in to any outside pressure of like showing interest that's really not there. And just focusing on really what you think there is a potential with.
So what do you think about him giving this advice that like you shouldn't really spend so much time investing into these relationships that you think or that are going to go nowhere?
I mean, I definitely think this is advice that Peter should have taken.
Seriously.
It's tough. I know it's hard, you don't want to be too mean, but he had a rough time with that. And I think it's definitely a weird concept. I mean, the show, you have to like be open to dating everyone. That's the point. But there's something to be said for cutting people loose. We saw Katie do that pretty well. And then that's why it was so tumultuous when people started cutting her loose. Yeah. But in the end, I think it worked for the most part. So
I think it did too. I mean, Peter did say that he was offered the spot to be on Bachelor in Paradise. Do you think that would have worked better for him?
Oh God. I don't know. I think Peter would have had a lot of interest in Paradise. I think that it would have been a little awkward for some of the girls on his season to see him. I mean, there wasn't that many there, which is, interesting. Right. I don't know. I think Peter should stay off reality TV for a minute. What do you think?
I think so too. I think he just needs to like maybe, just take some time, just figure out exactly what he wants, enjoy single life. And maybe next year, if he's still single, then he can revisit Bachelor in Paradise again.
I agree.
We'll see. All right. Well, let's get into everything we need to know about Michelle's season. So let's kick it off with our Bachelor buzzwords. Obviously, we don't have an episode to base this off of, but we did have this nice extended trailer for some great moments of the season. So based on that, what are some of your Bachelor buzzwords?
I did classes in session because I feel as though I was reminded that Michelle's a teacher about 25 times just in the 3-minute clip. And in the shorter teasers, it's already also in there about 1,000 times. Yeah. So we're definitely going to get reminded that Michelle's a teacher, and they're going to make a lot of references to it. And, classes also in session because it's time for her to find love.
Yes, exactly. That's mine. Ready for love. She's ready to take that next step. But I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago that we weren't really sure exactly what her narrative is going to be on this season. I mean, and I still don't really feel like we get that based on the trailer.
No, we know Michelle likes basketball and played basketball. We know Michelle is beautiful because we see her, and we know she was a teacher. So those are my biggest takeaways from the trailer. Things I did already know and things I think are going to, at least in the beginning, you know, the same way Katie with sex and stuff, very much like hammered in. And then by the end, it kind of goes away. But in the beginning, first couple episodes, they really lean into that. So for her, I think it's going to be, we're going to have the kids, you know, zooming in. We're going to have a lot of basketball.
Yeah, no, totally. I think in the trailer, she kind of alludes to the fact that she never really had boyfriends, but she was always picked last for being a girlfriend, but always picked first for basketball. So she's like this tomboy trying to find love.
You remind me, because I also put Class in Session because I feel like I'm watching a high school like show. Like we're at prom, we're talking about like getting picked last and stuff. And I'm like, I get it. She's a teacher, but like, she's also like 28, 29 years old. Like we don't need to be talking about her like high school trauma.
Seriously. Also, she's gorgeous. So I'm sure she'd have no trouble getting a boyfriend.
Yeah, 100%. So I watched the show like 1,000 times and I struggled to pick out a winner. I have a few comments, but I want to hear who you put down based on who you're shipping. Michelle.
So yes, the same thing. It's so hard because you're seeing everybody in bits and pieces. I have to like match the face to the pictures and things. It's too much going on. But I know that Joe Coleman, so he is one of the guys there. He was crowned Mr. Minnesota basketball back in 2011. And there's some rumors that she knew him because of their basketball ties. And it's kind of alludes to that in the trailer too, that she knew one of the guys from her past. But it seems like on paper that could be a good match.
I love that. We do know Michelle is from Minnesota, and we know that they filmed, I believe, the first couple episodes in Palm Springs at a resort, and then they went to Minnesota to do the second half, which I'm excited about because we have a little bit more room to play. And it would make sense if there was a guy with Minnesota basketball ties that even if they don't know each other, everyone's going to think they did. And I kind of like that as drama. I like the real world speculation.
Totally. How about you?
Okay, so I wrote down any guy wearing jewelry because I feel as though there was a lot of earrings and a lot of necklaces in this trailer. I'm not saying good or bad. It's just something I noticed. I noticed Nate, who was also accused of being there for the wrong reasons, but he had earrings on. PJ has earrings on in his picture. There's just a bunch of guys wearing accessories, and I think one of them is going to win.
I love it. It has to, because it's like all the guys. So I love that.
Right. And like, I always think back to that Annie Dorfman season where they all wore scarves. And now this season, it seems to be earrings. So I can't wait to find out if that's really Michelle's taste or if she's going to have to, rip the earrings off during these dates. I don't know.
I love it. And I know that Tayshia said in a recent interview that this group of guys were pretty amazing. So I'm excited to see that. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, let's talk about some cringeworthy moments based on the trailer. Mine was this person who is like planning out all of their Bachelorette moves. They found like folders about like what he's got going on. So that's definitely going to be something we haven't seen before.
Yeah, I hope they like release the receipts. Like I want to see, like, remember in Rossi Potomac when Monique brought her binder and then I think you're live on Instagram and like showed pictures of the binder. Like I need to see pictures of these documents or else I'm going to feel like this is so fake and stupid. Yeah. And I can't wait to find out in a couple of years if this person actually brought this binder or if it was like a setup. But either way, I'm cringing, but I'm invested.
I totally invested. Yes. How about you?
There seemed to be a few feuds between these guys that are going to be cringy, but there was something special about this jacket. And one of the guys said, "You're not the big dog. The big dog has the jacket." And then the other guy like throws the jacket into the water. And I'm just like, wow, we're mature this season.
I hope like it's not, usually the Bachelorette, it's not all about the drama. Like you do get those good connections rather than like when we were watching Matt James this season, it was all about the pettiness and all the feuds between the girls. So is something that I really like about the Bachelorette. Like you can actually witness these connections happening and it works. And I don't know. So hopefully it's not all about this petty drama. But hopefully. In a way, yes. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you got to find the balance. I feel like with Katie's season, it was a pretty good balance. So I'm hoping that, usually when a woman is in charge, they can figure that out a little better. Yeah. But I forgot to pick a rose, but I'm just going to steal yours. Let's Team Michelle.
Team Michelle. Yes. It's kind of early for us to decide who we'd like to give our rose to. So let's give it to Michelle because she deserves it. And she's going to kick us off with a brand new season and we're ready for it.
Yeah. And I think there's something about Michelle that's so great. She's not, not that I'm judging anyone who's like super into Instagram or anything like that, because hello, but she is like seems so down to earth. She barely posts on social media. I just feel like it's going to be interesting, breath of fresh air. And I also am ready for a new love story to root for, because I don't know if you saw that Katie's already posting about how lonely she is that Blake is in Africa. So I'm a little nervous about those two already.
I am too. It doesn't seem like they ever spend any time together, or like maybe have only spent like a few weeks together since we found out that they were engaged. I don't know.
I think we need Michelle. I have high hopes.
I do too. And like you said, she kind of like has already gone back to her normal life. I mean, she's teaching right now. So they filmed over the summer so she could go back to teaching. So it seems like that's definitely a priority for her to get back to like her normal life and not promote like Sugar Bear hair care. So it seems
Don't
like
let us down, Michelle.
Yes. So I like seeing that. All right. So who do we want to see packing their bags to go home?
So I studied the bios a little bit, as one does. And there's this man named Jamie who has, quote, never seen an episode of reality TV in his life. And one, I don't believe you. And two, if that's true, what are you doing here? So I just want Jamie to leave.
I don't even know you, but here's the door.
But gotta go. What about you? You have a more reasonable answer, but we gotta stretch it out here.
I love it. Well, mine is Clayton, because we know that he is the new Bachelor. So, I mean, they haven't officially confirmed it yet, but he's been spotted filming everywhere and he's all but confirmed to be the Bachelor. So it is going to be kind of interesting watching it going into the season, knowing that he's not going to win and, what kind of qualities we're going to look for him to be a good Bachelor. Obviously, they saw something that they really liked. So there's Clayton.
I feel two ways about it though, because part of me is interested. I can't wait to see the edit, like you're saying, and the music they're going to play for Clayton, and we're going to fall so in love with him or whatever. But then another part of me is like, in the trailer alone, he says like, I think Michelle could be the one for me. And it's like, well, we know that's not true. So it's like hard to get invested, but you just kind of have to watch it maybe with like a different eye, because it is interesting if you go back and like see the way they edit these people. A lot of times you can find like nuggets or you can figure it out. So that's interesting. But I agree. Obviously, like anytime they have like a date or connection, it's going to feel kind of like a waste of our time.
No, I totally agree with you, but it's going to be a good season. And of course, we're going to recap it every single step of the way. Sarah, who do you have on the podcast this week?
You can hear my full interview with Maddie Pruitt about her new book. So you get a little bit of Peter in there. And we'll see who I got to recap. If you guys have any ideas, write it in the YouTube comments. I'm reaching out to your faves at any time.
Definitely. And if you're still on the Bachelor in Paradise High, I know that you spoke to all the couples that got engaged last week. So definitely check them out on our YouTube channel. They're great interviews, and you get some wedding plans from them.
Yes, lots of. I think Kenny and Mari convinced me they might be the first to get down the aisle, and I didn't see that coming. So
I didn't see that coming either. So yes, could be very, very soon. All right. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Here for the Right Reasons. Like we said, we're going to be recapping Michelle's season each and every week. So make sure to check back on Us Weekly's YouTube channel every single Wednesday. And Sarah and I will see you next week for the big premiere. Bye, guys.